Hey everybody, I am back with more prep work for our deprogramming and reprogramming exercise. And a lot of what I'm giving you is to fortify what we do. Fortifying it, because you can just as quickly undo something that we do because you are used to the old programs, okay? So there's going to be a new way of life. There's going to be a new way of thinking, and your focus has to be renewed. You know, you cannot continue having stinking thinking if you want to make serious changes in your life, you know. So I pulled two cards today. So this is the second card I pulled. It says prioritize self-love and care. When do you feel most nurtured and cared for? When is that? Now, prioritize self-love and care. What I want to say is that I want you to become selfish with your love and become selfish with caring for yourself. And pay attention to how you feel. And pay attention to yourself. Like, let's say that you are participating in one of the deprograms and reprograms that deal with attracting love relationships, and you don't have a relationship right now. What I want you to do when you start to date is pay attention to what you're dealing with. Pay attention to your feelings. Don't go diving head first into intimate situations, especially ladies, because when you get intimate, you often put glasses on that have rosy colored lenses, and then you don't see what's right in front of you anymore. You know, and then by the time you see it, your heart's all broken up, you know? So take some time to get to know who is in front of you before you give your whole kit and caboodle away, you know? Pay attention to actions. Don't just pay attention to words. Pay attention to actions and know that they are paying attention to actions, not just words. So if you talk a bunch yin yang and then you do the opposite, then they're going to pay attention to what you're doing, not what you're saying. So if you start saying that you desire this or you would like that, but your actions don't line up with what the mouth is saying, then you're not going to get that. So make sure you pay attention to what's going on in your relationship. Make sure that you know what it is that you desire in a relationship, so that you know what you're getting into before you put your glasses on, the rosy colored glasses on. Make sure that you already know what you're interested in. You know, I was speaking with my brother, and he was telling me, he said, you ladies, y'all be coming with lists. I was cracking up. I said, yeah, I be telling people to do lists too. However, when you do a list, you want to narrow it down. You want to have your list so that you understand what you're looking for. But then have your deal breakers. And your deal breakers shouldn't be more than 25. Then you can narrow that down to like 5 or 10. You know what I mean? So, but to create the large list in the beginning is a great way to know what you like and what you would like to see in your mate. Because often, if you ask somebody what they're looking for, they don't really know. They might know the big ticket items, but they don't know the small items, you know? So reflect, do that list. Reflect upon things so that when your person shows up, if you have some deal breakers and they show up and they don't meet anything, then why are you there? I remember I dated this guy, and I was like, This guy pursued me for years, and now he finally is dating me, and this sucks. Why am I not liking this? You know, and we liked each other, you know, but why am I not liking this relationship? And so I pulled out my list. That had to dust it off. Where that list at? Let me look at that list. I pulled out the list, and out of like when I narrowed it down to 25, he wasn't much of the 25. And so then I narrowed it down. I was like, let me see what the deal breakers are. So I did some deal breakers, and he didn't have much on my list at all. And I was like, well, that's why I'm not really pleased or satisfied in this relationship, because he's not what I'm looking for. He's not what I'm interested in. And it's no shade to anybody, but if you don't know what you're looking for, if you ain't paying attention to what your list said, if you're not paying attention to what you really like, and you're only caught up in feelings and emotions and lust and all that, it's going to come a time when you figure out that you're not really pleased. And, you know, when you look at it, you just wasted some time. You could have been dating somebody else that might have been more qualified to be a good potential for you. So I think it is a good idea to do lists and have deal breakers on your list. And don't be rigid with your list, but the list is really good for you to know who you are and what you desire. Okay? So I definitely would say that. But as you're on the process, make sure you show love to yourselves. Make sure that if you allow anybody into your space, make sure that they're adding something positive to your space. You know, if you are adding, and I'm still talking about relationships right now, if you are in a relationship and you find that it's mostly you're giving and they're taking, if that's how you like things, then that's good. But I'm going to tell you, there's going to come a time when you're tired of that, okay? Make sure that when you're in a relationship that you meet each other halfway. There are things like, make sure that you introduce them to things that you like, and they introduce you to things that they like, you know? I remember a guy that I dated for a long time. He never did things that I liked, but I always did things that he liked. So I was always getting introduced to new things and new ideas, and, you know, and it was fun. But he wasn't interested in things that I was interested in, you know, and honestly, he didn't even know me because he didn't allow himself to really get into my world. So he didn't know who I was. He didn't know the magical side of me. He didn't know the healer in me. And when I would talk about things to other people and he would like listen in, you know, sometimes his comments weren't very positive, you know, and it was, or weren't supportive. And I was like, why am I with this person? Like, this is really a mismatch. You know what I mean? But it took forever for me to realize that, because I was caught up in the little things, and maybe I was chasing a high, or maybe I was filling a void, you know? So, and that's another reason why we have to love ourselves, and we have to really heal. Because if you have a void, you might fill it with something that's not even great, you know? And you think that you're satisfied, and you're really not. You're just going with the flow, you know what I mean? Filling a void. And you may not be the happiest that you could possibly be. And, you know, I remember knowing that I am so good by myself. Like, I'm really happy, you know, when I am with me, with Rorree. So if you come to my life, like, I don't want my vibration to be lowered, because I'm happy without you. So if you come, I should still be happy. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.